What does the future hold for Tom Ford? The brand Tom Ford is probably most known to the masses for its iconic fragrances, tailored suits and accessories, and notable advertising campaigns. Tom Ford Fashion is a global business and is now an Estée Lauder brand. Initially launched in the early 2000s, Tom Ford initially saw remarkable success, buoyed by the popularity of the designer by the same name. However, in 2019 and 2020, the company reported huge losses, and with Tom Ford stepping down from design duties, what does the future of the brand look like, and the impact to Tom Ford's legacy? Born in Austin, Texas in the early 1960s, Tom Ford was a talented and fashion-conscious designer with a strong work pedigree. He was influenced by his mother and grandmother, who were sophisticated and sometimes eccentric in their style. After briefly attending New York University to study art history, he transferred to Parsons School of Design at the New School in New York City to study interior architecture. After graduating, Tom Ford worked at New York fashion houses Perry Ellis and Cathy Hardwicke in the late 80s. He famously rang Cathy Hardwicke every day until he was granted an interview, and reportedly told her one of his favourite designers was Armani, as he noticed she was wearing it at the time. This demonstrated his charming personality and attention to detail. At Perry Ellis, he was hired by Marc Jacobs, a fellow Parsons graduate that would go on to have an illustrious career in fashion. In 1990, Tom Ford was hired by Gucci creative director Dawn Mello as an in-house designer and moved to Milan. 3 years later, Gucci was acquired by Investor Corp, a Bahrain-based investment firm that previously had a minority stake in the fashion house from Maurizio Gucci, ending the Gucci family's involvement with the brand. In 1994, Tom Ford was appointed the creative director of Gucci. As Gucci's creative director, Tom Ford aesthetically transformed Gucci's image from what American Vogue called a logo-laden look to one that portrayed a sophisticated sex appeal and sensuality. Tom Ford was a provocative designer, and his Gucci runway shows were often daring. For the Gucci Autumn-Winter 1996 show, he caused a sensation as it featured plunging necklines and cutouts, emphasizing the skin and the body beneath. For the Gucci Spring-Summer 1997 show, he sent models down the runway in open knit sweaters and interlocking G-logo G-strings. Tom Ford produced a series of mostly 1970s inspired collections for men and women that were critically acclaimed, as well as handbags, shoes, and accessories. Tom Ford was keen on ensuring that Gucci also had a prominent position with regards to fragrances, and introduced 2 new perfumes for Gucci called Envy and Rush. Tom Ford wanted to not only bring his eye for fashion design, but also to revitalize the entire brand. His degree in interior architecture may have contributed to his awareness of the aesthetics surrounding the brand being just as important as the designs within the brand. In 1995, Tom Ford hired French stylist Corinne Roitfeld and photographer Mario Testino to create a new modern concept for Gucci's advertising campaigns. As a result, the Gucci style, which encompassed the clothes, models, hair and makeup at Gucci, became a source of creative inspiration for many in the fashion industry. Tom Ford also designed iconic pieces worn by Hollywood actresses including Goldie Hawn, Rita Wilson, Gillian Anderson and Gwyneth Paltrow, which elevated Gucci's status as a fashion house for style and increased Gucci's popularity. As a result, the brand's profits began to soar. In the early 90s, the brand was almost bankrupt. However, by 1999, under Tom Ford's influence, Gucci became a public company worth $4.3 billion. In November 1999, Gucci acquired the parent company of the French fashion house Yves Saint Laurent, Sanofi Beauté, which was later renamed YSL Beauté, for a reported $1 billion. This further raised the public profile of Tom Ford.
Creative director, designer, I ultimately became creative director of Gucci Group. We acquired many other brands, Bottega Veneta, Stella McCartney, Alexander McQueen, Balenciaga. I was Yves Saint Laurent, I was creative director of the whole thing. I became vice chairman of the company. I also was the designer for Yves Saint Laurent, which was based in Paris, so I was doing about 16 collections a year.
In 2000, Tom Ford replaced Albert Elbaz as the lead designer of Saint Laurent, including its ready-to-wear line Rive Gauche. He helped bring YSL into the mainstream with provocative and controversial ads that featured nudity. This was followed by more changes at Gucci. Between 1999 and 2001, French holding company, Pinot Printemps Redoute, purchased a controlling stake of the Gucci Group for $3 billion and purchased the remaining shares in 2004 for approximately $4 billion. Reportedly, Tom Ford was unable to come to satisfactory terms with the corporation in relation to his contract. As a result, in 2004, he shocked the fashion world by announcing that he was leaving Gucci after 10 years at the brand. During his time at the Gucci Group, sales for the group increased from $230 million in 1994 to $3 billion in 2004. In 2005, a year after he left Gucci, Tom Ford founded the Tom Ford fashion label. He brought in former Gucci Group CEO Domenico De Sole, who had resigned with him from Gucci, to become chairman of the Tom Ford board. Tom Ford's first fragrance, Black Orchid, was launched in 2006 as part of Tom Ford Beauty and would go on to be a bestseller. The fashion house's flagship store opened a year later in New York and coincided with the launch of Tom Ford's menswear and accessories collections.
The Tom Ford man is right here. I am international in that I live in different countries. I travel a lot, so I'm very aware of what's going on culturally. I have disposable income, so I am our customer. Women's customer is a strong woman. I've always designed for women with their own mind. I love intelligent women who know their own style. Love clothes, they're spending it, so the age range really would go from 25 to 75.
In September 2010, Tom Ford debuted his women's wear collection. Rather than an illustrious fashion show, Tom Ford chose to present the collection during an intimate presentation at his New York flagship store and used some of his style icons at the time, including Lauren Hutton and Beyoncé, to display the clothes. The following year, he designed an ivory evening gown for Michelle Obama, which she wore during a visit with Queen Elizabeth at Buckingham Palace. The gown was a departure from his more provocative designs and showed his versatility. Tom Ford also launched a production company and wrote and directed films in the late 2000s that were critically acclaimed. Over the years, he has been embroiled in controversy related to his use of nudity in advertising and provocative pieces and product names. Tom Ford has often been unapologetic and described himself as an equal opportunity objectifier. According to reports, the Tom Ford fashion brand reported net losses in both 2019 and 2020. However, by 2021, the brand was again profitable, largely due to the popularity of Tom Ford fragrances. In 2022, Tom Ford sold his company to Estée Lauder for $2.8 billion in cash and debt and stepped down from design duties. Ford's long-term business partner and board chairman, Domenico De Sole, also stepped down from the Tom Ford board and has retired. Forbes estimated that Tom Ford personally made $1.1 billion from the deal, making him officially a billionaire. Tom Ford's long-term protege, British designer Peter Hawkins, is now the creative director at Tom Ford and made his debut at Milan Fashion Week in 2023. His show was praised but noted for being far more modest than the designs under Tom Ford's leadership. Whilst creative director, Tom Ford helped to make Gucci into one of the largest and profitable luxury brands in the world. He was bold. He did not have a fashion design degree, but was hired by top houses repeatedly and was said to have impressed the designers with his character, determination, and eye for style. He had bold visions and knew the importance of marketing. The clothes design were not enough. The overall brand aesthetic was also important to Tom Ford. Tom Ford achieved this by ensuring advertising was provocative and caught widespread attention, and he also did not shy away from designing for celebrities and notable people. He also worked incredibly hard, reportedly working very long hours, and when he left Gucci, his role was reportedly replaced by a team of 4 people. He followed his passions despite the controversy around his ideas, and also delved into his filmmaking career. He left Tom Ford because he felt that he no longer had a vision to offer the brand. However, his legacy, impact, and name lives on through his brand. The lesson to take away is to not be afraid to pursue your passions and work hard at it and strive for what you want. What do you think of the Tom Ford story, and do you think his brand will be successful without him? Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment, and click here to watch my video on another American fashion designer legend, Marc Jacobs. This is Bookstore Business. Drink in the knowledge.